Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex, presented by G2G Bars on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, welcome to your Wednesday. Thanks for being with us on the program. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Sucks getting old, doesn't it?
You're telling me.
Sucks getting old because then we just start, we're going like, I mean, I'm not full Jake Scott on the complaining about being a dad. But between you and I, we can go full Jake Scott and be like, old man Jake Scott, get off my lawn. I'm not doing any of these roller coasters. It's my daughter's 13th birthday today. Happy birthday, Quinn. This is the last time I'm ever going to take you to Lagoon, all right? You got to find a ride.
Sure it
this.
is.
No, listen.
You'll be back there next year, 100-degree day.
You know how many kids I have. I'm going to have this conversation. I'm going to have this conversation
Well,
every
Quinn had a Lagoon day, so everybody else gets one, too.
That's the thing is that, like, we're not taking her. Like, she goes, and it's old hat for her. She knows what she's doing. It's taking the little kids, too, to kind of be a part of it, which they get a kick out of it. I'm glad. But I can't hold my stomach anymore on anything. And by the way, thanks SLC Fat Loss for all the weight that I've lost. Still no thanks for the little kiddie rides that I have to jam my knees into.
Yeah.
I can at least get the seatbelt on now, but
you can't lose that much
But
weight.
my knees, I'm still 6'3". I don't get it. I can't jam my knees any further into this ride. And then my little 4-year-old looking back at me, and I'm like, all good, sweetie.
You're a good dad.
Dad's not about to die or anything. No, but it's still fun. I'll tell you what happens there. You can get in a lot of trouble food wise at a place like that.
Oh yeah,
right. But SLC Fat Loss. It's a good way to avoid it.
Your kids can eat whatever they want.
Oh, plus the other thing is like I don't know about you,
there's no low calorie corn dog out there, is there?
Wait, did you just come up with a great idea?
I think I did.
JJ's low calorie. JJ's low calorie corn dog. You know somebody out there's doing
keto
a keto
dog. There's
a keto dog. You know there's a keto dog corn truck somewhere. We are. If we think we're coming up with something amazing, we're not.
It's made out of pure xanthan gum.
some Utah mom already came
psyllium husk.
They're like, what is this? What is this hot dog? Oh,
not a hot dog.
It's actually the inside is a chicken hot dog, but the outside is actually also chicken. So
it's chicken wrapped with chicken.
There you go.
Deep fried chicken.
Welcome to the program. Yes. Look, a lot worse things can happen than having a 13-year-old have fun on her birthday. So there you go.
Good for her.
The worst part is that now she's, our rule, they get their phones when they're 13, and so now.
Oh, you sure about that?
Now
Now
our relationship has gone to a new level of not having a relationship anymore. So there you go.
Yeah. Say goodbye to your daughter.
Quinn, I hardly knew you. Love you though.
The attitude comes soon after.
I love it. All right. Our program brought to you by G2G Bars, all natural ingredients and no preservatives. Make the G2G Bar the best option instead of a corn dog. So there you go. Let's jump into the program here. Top of the hour. We've got tons to get into. As we do, we kick off the program with the cut, so let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the show. Trajan Wealth is TRAJANwealth.com. If you want to get the best advice when it comes to your retirement, hit it up. Just go to TrajanWealth.com. All right. Mountain West Media Days, of course, you've got a lot of things that came out of there. Of course, we're interested the most in the ones that make the biggest impact to us here locally. And so next hour, we're going to be jumping in and listening in on some of the things that Bryson Barnes had to say to Hanson Scotty down in Vegas at Mountain West Media Days. I do know they had a conversation with the College Football Playoff Executive Committee Chair, and I think that's for an overarching conversation over the next couple of days. I think we'll be able to break that thing up and really understand kind of just the whole view and really the perspective of a guy who was in the G5 and still is very highly related with the G5 stuff, but to be able to dip in and kind of give his opinion on that and what that looks like going forward. We'll be able to hear some of that as well. But because we are so obsessed with the way too early lists, we've hit a new low or a new high, because you and I both love we love a way too early list.
Yeah, this feels a little too early even for me.
Come on, JJ.
March Madness in July?
Yeah, baby.
Get out of here.
What do we have here? Yes, CBS Sports has put out its first 2026 Bracketology, and we're firmly planted only halfway through 2025. All right?
Dang.
But as soon as I saw this list, I thought to myself, okay, hold on a minute. They have a 68-team bracket already put together in July, and they're making those guesses before. I mean, these college kids haven't even walked onto campus yet, and they've already got a seeding projection? Yes, please. I'll take all of it. So what do you have? You have, because my immediate thought was, what are BYU fans anticipating? What do they expect? Because the conversation has been, and I told you how I don't like this conversation of Final Four or bust, and I'm like, I think you're just going to bust if that's the case, because do I think that BYU has the talent to get there? Yes. Do I think that it is a very, very tall ask to just go, you have enough talent, then get yourself to the Final Four? Ask Rutgers how well that went for them, having all the talent in the world and not even getting to the NCAA tournament. It really is nerve-wracking to me because, look, you're guessing pretty well when you put Houston up there as a top seed, right? They're returning a lot of guys.
And bringing some good ones in.
Kelvin Sampson is a phenomenal coach. That's half of why you bring it in. Florida just won the national championship, right? And they went through quite the gauntlet to get there. And they're going to return a lot of talent. And they brought guys in. Number 1 seed projected as well coming out of the East. Purdue, your South number 1 seed according to this projection. Why not? Purdue's been good, very good over the past few years. And then St. John's, my heavens, say what you will about Rick Pitino and what he does, but wherever he shows up, JJ, he freaking wins, and he kept it going last year. And you know what they had last year? They were massively – they underperformed huge in the NCAA tournament. Did they get eliminated in the round of 32?
Second round. They got upset by Arkansas, if I remember right.
And yes, because it was Calipari versus Pitino.
Yep.
And Calipari ends up making like a little run, and they almost go further than anyone would have ever imagined that they had gone. But there you have it. St. John's. That's your 4-1 seeds right there. Houston, Florida, Purdue, St. John's. I can't argue against that. Those are really, really good teams. Your 2 seeds are Michigan, UConn, Kentucky, Duke. You hearing any blue bloods in there when it comes to basketball powerhouses?
Check.
Your 3 seeds, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisville, and then here comes BYU. As let me just check my math here. That's only the second Big 12 team of those that I mentioned. Of course, Houston being that number 1 seed.
I'm glad you point that out. That's the first thing I noticed is BYU is the second Big 12 team in this projection. That would place them ahead of 2 teams on the 4 line, Iowa State and Texas Tech. Texas Tech, a team that they're still trying to overcome and pass up in the Big 12 in their first 2 years in this league. If they're able to do that in year 3, that's a significant move forward.
Kansas, a 5 seed, which, again, I look at that and I go, you probably would be better off putting Kansas and Bill Self, who are firmly planted in a decline era. Now, you can get yourself good year to year, but Kansas has underperformed massively. But does a 3 seed sound about right for BYU in terms of this projection right now, or is that way too high? Or is your uncle, who's that blue – glasses blue, never going to look any other color.
You want to know what
else.
Cougar Board thinks? Is that what you're
I'm
asking?
I'm sure there are guys on Cougar Board who want to put them in that 2 or 1. The risk of that right now is that you're bringing a lot of talent back. What was BYU's seeding last year? Were they a 6 seed?
Yeah.
So 6 seed, having all the talent that they did, and then they added the best player, I don't know, in the entire country, definitely a number 1 overall pick right now. Why not put them at 3? I think 3 is probably exactly where their heads should be. You aren't as good as Houston. You're not the national champion Florida. Purdue has done more than you have over the past decade plus. St. John's is a power in the East that has not just been a sleeping giant. They've been awoken, and they are there, right?
Yeah.
Duke, Kentucky, UConn, Michigan is your 2 seed line, all right? Which one of those teams would you kick out to put BYU in front of? None of them right now. I think 3 is a great place for BYU to be because it's a perfect balance of people see the threat that you are. They see what the talent level is of a team like BYU, and they're respecting it, I think, giving them a 3 seed. But you can't in good faith. You could guess and say, hey, they'll be better than Duke next year. Why not? But the reality is it's so much more difficult to actually get that thing done when the rubber meets the road in March. So I know it's an early projection. I think 3 is a pretty darn good place to put them.
Yeah, I like it. I like it for them because I agree with you. This Final Four bust is not reality. They haven't been there yet. They got to the Sweet 16 last year for what, only the 3rd time in school history and only the 2nd time since the tournament was expanded in 1985.
Right, and I'll remind people that they've never been to the Elite Eight in this format, which back when Danny Ainge took them to the Elite Eight, they had to win only 2 games to get to the Elite Eight at that point. Because I think it was a 32 game, like you were saying, pre-1985. It's a different era. You win 2 games with, back then, it was a premium to have older guys, right? It was awesome to have guys who had all the experience, and they had NBA-ready dudes on that roster. That's how they got to the state that they were in. So now, JJ, they've got legitimate NBA guys on their roster again.
Multiple.
The question is, can they do what is actually very hard to do, which is with really young guys, including your best player being a true freshman, can he get them far enough to get to that spot to be in the Final Four?
I think BYU can do more than a 3 seed, or they can exceed expectations or go farther than they ever have if A.J. DeBonsa is arguably your best player. If he's definitively your best player,
that might be a problem.
A freshman,
that's a good point.
As good as he is, being asked to carry you is probably a little bit too much if that's where you want to go.
Great point.
If you say, wait a minute, we got Richie Saunders, who was phenomenal last year. He's our leader. He's our veteran. He's our best player. Then you're a different team. If you're like, Rob Wright's our floor general. He's our leader at guard. He's our bulldog. Okay, we got a 3-headed monster here. This isn't just A.J. DeBonsa's team. If that's the conversation you're having, then we can talk about maybe a Final Four run. But if the idea is, they got A.J. DeBonsa, he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft next year, we're going to win the national championship, very, very rarely does a freshman lead you to a national championship. I think you go to Anthony Davis at Kentucky, Carmelo Anthony at Syracuse. In the last 25 years, that's not a long list. How many phenom freshmen have gone into the college basketball? Kevin Durant, I don't even think he made it out of the first round at Texas. You know what I mean? It's a lot to ask even the best generational freshmen to go into college basketball and dominate, because there's teams like Houston out there who have seniors and have dogs. They got guys that are tough, that are seasoned, that have been through everything, and they play hard, and they know all the tricks, and they're coached really well. You look at Florida right now. Florida's become one of those teams. You mentioned St. John's with Rick Pitino as their coach, and all the Blue Bloods as well. So you got to break through that. We saw Alabama last year. I was really impressed with that program. Nate Oates has that thing rolling.
Yep.
They are tough.
And the SEC...
They didn't have that first-round pick on that team, but Sears was incredible.
And the SEC
Nelson's
might
a great
be...
player.
The SEC might still be the definitive... It is, until proven otherwise.
Yeah, look at your top... Florida's in there, Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee in your top 3 lines.
Yeah.
And then Auburn in the 4 line. Still, the SEC is well represented in that group.
And Auburn was a 1 seed last year, right?
Yes, they were.
So... what was the best freshman season you think ever? Is it kind of Anthony Davis, his true freshman season? Carmelo Anthony had a true freshman season. He took Syracuse to the national championship. Then they won it his freshman year. Anthony Davis, I think, is kind of just considered that, hey, an actual true freshman who got it done, and Kentucky won the Natty back in, what was it, 12 probably? 2012? Is that how old
I think so,
Anthony Davis is?
He's in his 30s.
How old we are now?
Yep.
So... I don't know what
Michael Jordan had a really good freshman year, but Anthony Davis is number 1, Carmelo Anthony 2. You could put Jordan 3. There's been some other. Kevin Durant had a really good freshman season, although they didn't see the success. Derrick Rose at Memphis, remember, made it to the national championship game, then obviously became an MVP in the league. Zion Williamson had a good freshman year at Duke, and of course, remember Magic Johnson.
Oh, he did.
He was a pretty darn good freshman.
Yeah.
But before that, previous to Magic Johnson in that era, you couldn't play as a freshman.
Yeah.
So there's been some good ones, but you probably start with Anthony Davis and then go from there.
So what's the projected starting 5? Rob Wright III, A.J. DeBonsa, Richie Saunders, Kebakeda? Is it?
Yeah.
And then is it the Kennard Davis kid out of?
I think that
out of
fourth
Southern
spot is
Illinois?
open. Do you want to go a little? If you want to slip a guard in there, or do you want to go bigger? I think it depends on what you want to do with your matchups, and who else is in your rotation. Who's your sixth man off the bench? Those things probably still need to be determined. But I think you nailed 4 of the 5.
Let's move on to who's not on this list. Right? When you talk about, I don't know how many Big 12 teams are on there or on this list. I don't know if they went as deep as
I'll
that.
go through that and find
But
out.
BYU would be facing in this scenario, they would be matched up against the 14-seeded South Dakota State. Right? As if we even know, or projecting the 14 seeds is an even crazier task than try to assign the other seeds. But I'll tell you who's missing on this list that I think you probably. Why isn't Utah State getting any kind of look here? Is Utah State going to have a year where they go backward? Is that what we're talking about? Like,
No.
what do we? No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would Utah State not even be? I'm trying to find them even on the. I think this is one
I
of those.
think this is just somebody on this is going to have an oversight. But
They just overlooked it.
When Utah State starts a season 8-0 or something like that, Coach Calhoun has them going. I mean, the Mason Falls is back. They've picked up some really nice players. They'll be fine. They'll be in the mix.
Oh yeah, you nailed it with it. So Derrick Rose had a great freshman season at Memphis. Kevin Durant had a good freshman season there, but again, they got out in the second round. I don't think people. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Oh yeah,
out of LSU.
Chris Jackson.
Remember Chris Jackson back
I sure
then?
do. I'm old enough to remember Chris Jackson.
Oh my goodness!
Great college player.
Considered the fourth best freshman season ever. 30.2 points a game, by the way, in the SEC that year. Oh, that's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, number 3, Carmelo Anthony, 2, and then Anthony Davis, number 1.
Those are some of the all-time
They're
great
pretty close.
basketball players of all time.
But you know what's crazy is that, again, how to try to hang your hat on a freshman is a very difficult thing to do. To hang your hat on a freshman to take you to a national championship game is not just really hard to do. You have to be a Hall of Fame. That's kind of the theme that we're getting here. You basically need to be an NBA future Hall of Famer to be, or have a talent level like Zion Williamson that may go, by the wayside. We know that could be end up being squandered talent. I mean, you think about Derrick Rose is a former MVP in the league. No one's going to talk about Derrick Rose like, man, what a flop. You'll talk about how injuries sidelined a career that was on its way to being multiple MVPs. KD's obviously who he is. And, when you're number 3 on the list and you're MJ, that's a pretty darn good list if you're...
Can A.J. DeBonsa add his name to that list?
Or is A.J. DeBonsa in the category of the Kentucky teams we've seen many other versions of that have true freshmen one-and-dones who don't even get anywhere close? Or might even be very middle of the road in the conference play in a very difficult conference.
I would
It's hard
argue
to tell.
Karl Anthony Towns is underachieved based on his projections as being an NBA player.
Sure.
I think everyone thought he was going to be a superstar All-NBA guy, and he's close.
He's good.
But not quite.
Yeah.
But not every player is going to hit at that level. But not to say that he hasn't been great, but is he like one of the top 10 players in the league right now? No.
Okay, so I'm trying to look at this. So I love
By the way,
this too.
7 Big 12 teams in this projection.
Yeah,
Which would be less than the last 2 years.
So they don't even have Utah State in the last 4 in, first 4 out.
Nope.
None of those.
That'll change. Don't worry,
But they
fans.
didn't put Boise State in the last 4 in, just to help you remember from last year that they were basically looked over for a UCLA team wasn't it UCLA who got in and had no business getting in, or who was it last year? Do you remember this whole thing when it went down?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It was not UCLA because UCLA was good. Gosh dang. Was it
But
the
it
year
was
before?
somebody who
The
got-
year before it was Virginia or something like that. It was terrible.
They got in and you were like, excuse you? Right. And so now this is why I don't want to do the 72 game or 76 team tournament,
No.
JJ. We can't do it.
No.
Because then we start to have these
Oh,
conversations.
yeah, it was North Carolina that got in.
It was North Carolina, that's what it was.
Xavier, Texas wasn't good either.
But North Carolina,
San Diego State got blown out by North Carolina.
that's right.
They weren't good either.
And then you look, and San Diego State got in after losing to Boise State in the
Yes.
in the Mountain West tournament.
Yes.
So there's all this whole thing when it goes down where the committee will every year get some things wrong, and you're never going to correct that, by the way, just by adding more teams. 72 teams or 76 teams is not going to fix any kind of the controversy that ends up coming with trying to figure out an NCAA tournament, because the last four in and the first four out and all these numbers that you get to, you're still going to have that. It's just going to be the 80th team. And then at that point, you're talking about such a lack of talent. I don't know how they would do it. Your 18 seeds? I don't know. Your 17 seeds? I'm not sure how they would figure that out.
The SEC gets all the teams in their conference into the NCAA tournament.
And again,
Greg Sankey's dream.
But worse is then you'd get like the Sun Belt getting 2 teams in. Then you get the Ohio Valley, conference getting 2 or 3 teams in, and you go, I know that we love having one of those guys in. Do we need 2 or 3 of them in? The answer is probably not. At that point, you go, better luck next season. Please try again. We're not just going to let 80 teams into the NCAA tournament, because at that point, that's a third of the teams in Division I basketball.
If you continue to water down the NCAA tournament, it loses its luster.
But it adds money, and that's why the NCAA, it's attractive to the NCAA.
I get why they like it, but people aren't going to watch as much, and their TV ratings are going to come down, and it's going to hurt the long-term health of the product.
When do you have conference tournaments, by the way? And do the conference tournaments even mean that much? Our guys sitting out of conference tournament play because they're like, well, I'm saving myself for the NCAA 100%. Tournament. We know we're getting in.
Yeah, 100%.
So, again,
you've already seen teams kind of check out with first-round losses.
And then they're all, see you in a week.
Yeah.
See you in a week.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, look at us talking basketball. Alex,
we did a whole college basketball segment on July 16th.
You thought we couldn't do it.
I thought that was pretty good.
Us.
I never doubted you guys.
I thought that was compelling.
Now, the real question is, are Utah fans feeling slighted here, or is it just like we'll wait and see?
I think everybody's in wait-and-see mode with Utah.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Might as well. You've got a lot to prove. Got a lot to prove. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, guess what we have? Oh, Win Ticket Wednesday today? Heck yeah, man. We got Win Ticket Wednesday. We also have Mike Asti, who's going to join us. West Virginia athletics for West Virginia Sports Now. This is one of those teams that both Utah and BYU facing. In fact,
back-to-back weeks.
I think that, I was going to say West Virginia gets the travel out to Utah and then host BYU on a back-to-back situation for them. That's not necessarily that's a little bit of a gauntlet that they're going to have to run through for Rich Rod's first year of the second time being there.
Yeah, they host Utah and then travel to BYU the next week.
That's right. We're still trying to figure out how to get that the Finnish kid. And they're both Friday games?
Yeah,
oh.
One's conference weekend.
Come on. Brett Yormark, you shafted the Mountaineers. Come on, bro. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk to Mike Asti next. Stay with us, 97.5 BKSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name. You're locked into JJ and Alex with the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. Presented by G2G Bars. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, we're so generous at this station. Just give and give. Today's a Win Ticket Wednesday. We'll be giving away some tickets later on in the program.
Hey, you have to give. You know you got to give.
Free Ticket Friday coming up on Friday.
That works.
It's new. It's a newer feature. I mean, we always give away tickets on Fridays, but now we're officially branding it. It's Free Ticket Friday. It's coming up on Friday. You can win tickets to Dierks Bentley coming into town, the Broken Branches Tour at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater on July 31st. Win those tickets all day long this Friday. And like I said, you can also win tickets on a Win Ticket Wednesday coming up in just a little while. Joining us on the program right now, we're fresh off of the trip down to Dallas for Big 12 Media Days, where we were treated to a sit-down discussion with Coach Rich Rod in his second edition of coming to Morgantown to coach up West Virginia. Joining us on the program right now is Mike Asti. West Virginia athletics is what he covers for West Virginia Sports Now. Mike, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, guys. How are you?
Oh, we're good. We were just talking about how brutal of a 7-day span it's going to have to be for the Mountaineers to host. Now, let me get this right. Hosting Utah on September 27th on a Friday, turning right back around on the next Friday, playing
the Utah game's on a Saturday.
Oh, the Utah game's on a Saturday. So short week, Go to Provo the next week, which is not an easy ask for these East Coast teams on a Friday night game, which definitely means it's going to be an 8:30 time, which definitely means you won't get back to your hotel, Mike, until 2 a.m., 4 o'clock a.m. on the body. How on earth did Brett Yormark work this one out with the folks in West Virginia for Rich Rod's first year back?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and it's kind of a schedule that, of course, you want to be home when you're facing Utah, assuming they're going to be back to what they normally have been over the last 20 years this coming season. But in that scenario that you paint, you almost figure, let's just play both in Utah and just stay out there because, going east and back and all that again, they're going to need some recovery after those games and likely against two good teams. The only thing that Rich Rod and W did benefit schedule-wise from the Big 12. Most of their quote-unquote big games are at home, but it won't be an easy slate at all. And their out-of-conference schedule is a lot easier this year, if you've noticed. There's no Penn State in week one like it's the last couple of years. There's no even the return of the backyard brawl like it was a few years ago in week one. So Rich Rod should at least be 1-0, which West Virginia has not done for several years. But that's going to be rough. Yeah, that's definitely going to be rough. There's going to be some rough moments on the schedule for sure to get through.
So take us back a bit on the Rich Rod hire. Feels like a turn back the clock moment where maybe you go back and try to dig in the well and go back to a happier time. Why do they feel like Rich Rod this time around is going to work out and this is going to be a successful hire for them?
Yeah, it's what's old is new again. I mean, it's not even just Rich Rod. They're bringing back the glossy helmets. They actually are going to have throwbacks to 1965.
Is Geno Smith going to play?
Yeah, I mean, Rich Rod said that he none of those guys have any eligibility left, even the people that he put in his coaching staff, which I was going to get into. I mean, if Geno Smith somehow, gets hurt or has some time off in the NFL, not that I'm wishing it on him, he might be able to join the staff because Pat White's back on the staff. Noah Devine's on the staff. Rasheed Marshall's there. Neil Brown actually brought him back a couple years ago. And so what's old is new. I mean, they're celebrating not only just Rich Rod, they're trying to do more to celebrate the full-on history of the program, which, as you mentioned, a lot better days have been in the past, but not so much the last 6 years. But the reason why Rich Rod is there is to win, and a belief from Ren Baker that he can win. Yeah, there were hurt feelings, and maybe there still are for some people, even though this is now a new regime, but it's about winning. I don't think Rich Rod would probably be back, and they would be doing this if they just came off of a great tenure the last 6 years, and for some reason it had to end, and it wasn't a firing, and then Rich Rod wanted the job. I don't know if they would have gave it to him. They want to win. They believe he can win. He's coming off of success, granted at the Group of Five level with Jack State, resurrecting them from FCS to a conference champion. Not easy to do at all. It's been a while since he's won in the Power Four or was Power Five at Arizona. But there is a belief from Ren Baker, and it could be wrong, but a belief from Ren Baker that he can still win, he can still coach, he can do it at this level, he can bring back a positive buzz and vibe and help them sell some freaking tickets and get over the toxicity that was the last 6 years. And that's why he's there. And Rich Rod even said, he actually kind of broke some news. Most of what he's been saying the last 6 months, we've all heard before, and he's repeating himself a lot, as you probably noticed. But he did break some news at Big 12 Media Days when he told, I forget the outlet, but he told somebody on their show that he inquired about the job after Dana. So he said 5 or 6 years ago he inquired about the open West Virginia job. That has to be after Dana. And he was told by then Shane Lyons that he could interview, but he wouldn't even be a top 5 candidate.
Right.
Fast forward 6 years later, he won at Jack State. He's coming up more success for himself. And while the Dana end wasn't that great, the Holgorsen end wasn't that great, they were still a ranked team. They were ranked in 2018. They were much better off than under Neil Brown. And at that time, they weren't as desperate to go back to Rich Rod, but I think there is a desperation to just win, no matter who's the freaking coach, and they believe Rich Rod can do it.
Going into the 23 season, at the first Big 12 Media Days that BYU had, I think that was the first. Yeah, that was their first.
Yeah,
we sat down with Neil Brown and in Arlington, and they were picked, I think, to finish 16th, and they were
Right.
And he was pissed, and I remember thinking, yeah, this guy. Yeah. And I remember, I'm going to be honest, too, the SIDs walking around, and not a lot of people wanted to even talk to anybody from West Virginia because they're like, yeah, no one's really thinking about you guys that much. And I think they took that. And Neil Brown, like, what was the reality at the end? You brought up the toxicity part. It feels like it wasn't just the wins and losses that saw Neil Brown out the door.
No, I mean, the Neil Brown tenure, honestly, could be its own movie. We could spend a whole 2-hour show just talking about it. But for a quick summary here, he came aboard, and it was viewed as a home run hire. It was. The West Virginia fans may not want to admit this, but it was. I mean, he was coming off a great tenure at Troy. He was a young up-and-coming coach. They clearly weren't going to the Rich Rod business then. They thought it was going to be a home run. COVID, I think the schedule was very, very rough. Certainly the out-of-conference. They were playing 11 Power 4 schools a year. BYU wasn't doing that. Most schools were not doing that. They were playing 10 or 9. WVU was playing 11. They were starting on the road every year. But it didn't work out. It wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough. He made mistakes. And while 2023 that you bring up was such a great year, it did save his job. They were predicted to be last. They ended up finishing, I believe, 4th, and they won 9 games and blew a couple. They could have won 11. But then last year, all the hype from that season. They're Greenback. They had a veteran team. They were coming off a year that should even have been greater than it even was, and they actually got in the Coaches Bowl top 25 at the end. And yet, they blew the brawl. I mean, once they blew the brawl, it was the beginning of the end. You blow a 10-point lead with 4 minutes left. It's an equal opponent. You can't do that. They did it. And then from there on, there were billboards around town. I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually asked the question about, what can you tell fans? And it led to him making the comments about, well, they can have some fun. And then that went viral.
Oh.
So, yeah, I was actually the one who spurred that on. But it just ended up because that's how it became toxic, that all the goodwill that he earned from 2023 and fans kind of saying, okay, we'll be with Brown because he showed people wrong when no one thought they could do anything, and they did it. And then you blow the brawl, you lose a lot of close games, you have a bad Big 12 schedule, you win 6 games, you lose the bowl. I mean, he was not going to come back after that. And it was just to the point that I think Ren Baker even realized that the fan base was just absolutely done. And when you think about it, for anyone not familiar with the history of the program maybe, so the 6 years under Neil Brown, they were never ranked in the Associated Press poll even 1 week. The last time there was a 6-year stretch for WVU football, anything close to that bad and not in the AP poll, was back in the late 70s. And if you go more to the middle of the 70s, so it wouldn't even have been a full 6-year stretch then, they won the Peach Bowl and were winning conference titles back in the day. And prior to that, for a really bad tenure, you got to go to the 30s or 40s. I mean, Brown was a really nice guy, but it is one of the worst tenures in program history. And that's why they're back with Rich Rod.
Well, the Big 12 is as wide open as it feels. It was obviously wide open last year, and it feels the same this year. And fans in West Virginia is like, hey, Rich Rod's back. Why not us? But the common denominator with those teams that surprised last year is they all had great quarterback play. Who's going to win? Where's that situation right now? Do they have a guy, or is that a big question mark for them?
Yeah, that is the key. And right now, they're in a quarterback competition, which Rich Rod will tell you. They haven't announced anything. They're not going to announce anything until week 1, maybe even an hour before kickoff, with the incumbent Nika Markiel, who decided to stay after being a Neil Brown recruit. He was a 4-star recruit in Arizona at the time, but he's mostly been a backup the last several years. The supporters of him will say he's 4-0 as a starter, but if you look at his stats, guys, he literally was good in 1 game, and it was at Arizona, ironically. Like, he had some wins with QBRs below 30, but they did win.
Wow.
But he's back. He does look way better, though. He has the arm strength. It's not like he's bad. He's an adequate quarterback. I have concerns if he can run the Rich Rod offense and be fast enough from what you guys know of Pat White and those guys that ran it. I don't see him as that much of a burner. The other option is Jalen Henderson, who is a Power 4 transfer that was at A&M, so was a top recruit, but then got hurt, which is why he lost favor around the country. And as much as he's hyped and maybe he could be something. From my eyes, he looked bad in spring. He looked really rusty. He overthrew pretty much everybody. So we'll see what he looks like coming up in fall camp. Unless somebody is added or something's wild, and I know obviously, the Jake Retzlaff rumors are out there, even though I have no reporting on West Virginia being interested. But unless something crazy like that occurs, it's either Nico or J.O. Henderson. I would lean and would imagine it's going to be Nico Marchiol getting the nod. But I don't think he's good enough to be a 9-10 win conference championship level quarterback. And that likely would be the issue of why they're probably a 6-7 win team at best right now.
What does Rich Rod bring back in round two? And again, I think that the old school, like 5 or 6 years ago, when you ask an administrator, hey, man, I might be interested in this job again, there's just no starting point. They'd be like, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll interview you just as a courtesy, but we don't really do that. And then this year you've got Scott Frost and Rich Rod both coming back, and we saw both those guys at media days, and we're like, man, I feel like that the state of college football has changed totally to where we'll be like, yeah, we'll be open to this. Why not try to run back like when we've had some phenomenal success here? And what is it that Rich Rod does so well? Obviously, people look at him like an offensive innovator, but what can he do, again, to turn things around in West Virginia? Because I'm certain the fans are thinking exactly what you've thought or told us, which is we're not used to this stretch of not being recognized nationally.
Yeah, and that's the thing. To really be in a national afterthought and be made fun of and be called a MAC team by shows, that shouldn't be West Virginia football. And I do think part of the last 6 years has even slandered the history of the program. If you look up the history of the program, again, it's top 20 in conference titles, top 15 in all-time wins. They've won every major bowl game except the Rose Bowl. It's a good program. It's not Ohio State, but it's a good program historically, and it's not viewed as that, certainly not by younger fans because of the Brown tenure. But I think, number one, if nothing else, Rich Rod brings a mentality that will coach him up. His hard edge thing might be a joke to some, but it is legit. They practice fast. They practice hard. I mean, players are crawling out of practice. They're running up Law School Hill that McAfee talks about all the time. That is as rigorous as he says it is. They practice harder than maybe anybody in the country. I mean, I cover the Steelers, too, and see pro practice. And you can make an argument West Virginia's practice is harder than pro teams if you look at Rich Rod's practice. So I do think at worst, they're not going to get blown out in games and embarrassed in games like they were at times under Neil Brown. He's going to demand that that's not the case, or you're going to hear some breaking news that he's cutting players mid-season, he's throwing a chair. That's not going to be he's not going to accept it. So I think that, number one, is why fans are there. I mean, actually with Pac-Man Jones, a former player who played for him early in his tenure, even said that if nothing else, he's comfortable with the hire because they're going to play really, really, really hard, and there's going to be max effort. I think the former players, and I don't know if it's true, I think Brown was a good coach, just in over his head a little, but I think a lot of the former players think that they didn't play hard at times under Brown. They're going to play hard under Rich Rod, and then we're going to see what his offense looks like. We all know a spread offense with White, but he claims it's a little different than what it was, and it's going to be even different than Jack State because he's now in the Big 12. He only showed us 11 minutes during spring because he was very close to the vest with the portal coming up. It'll be interesting to see kind of what it looks like. It's supposed to be even different than what he ran last year. Who knows? But obviously it's going to be, predicated on running the football, and we'll see if that works with who's on the roster, too.
Mike Asti, West Virginia Sports Now is where you can find his byline, and really getting to know this team a little bit because both BYU and Utah are going to be taking on the Mountaineers week after. I mean, we're early-ish in the season, too, September 27th and October 3rd. Utah, September 27th, BYU on October 3rd in Provo. Real quickly, what's the money situation look like for West Virginia? Did it get more competitive, even more so now? Did you see more booster kind of eyebrows raised, we want to get to be a part of this now that Rich Rod is back?
It's actually good that you asked that. That is, I think, the other end of this that we didn't talk about. Part of why they brought Rich Rod back is there was a contingent, a following, an outcry from the notable boosters from Ken Kendrick, who, if anyone doesn't know, is the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he is a WVU guy through and through. Pat McAfee, those people, the Pac-Man Jones, vocally saying, we will put money in if you bring Rich Rod back. And, guys, they did. So that's the one thing you got to say. Whether it works or not, they did put their money where their mouth is. McAfee's donated more than he did during the Brown era. Kendrick's dipped back in. They are getting more NIL money than they had during Brown. I mean, Brown actually said he had $3.5 million to work with. That's nothing in this day and age. So he's already spent double that on his staff. They probably are going to get double, if not maybe around $9 million, I would say, in NIL. It's not great, but it's way more than before. So it's way better. It's not Notre Dame, Ohio State, not, that level, but it's way better for them to even be rumors for some of these top recruits. And they did bring in some Power 4 transfers, granted mostly Group of 5 and FCS guys. But there's more money there. And not just for football, for basketball too, that's trying to get a rebirth as well. So that is a major positive. We will see how much that kicks in, and maybe it'll kick in more next year. But yeah, people are putting their money where their mouth is in terms of donating when they wanted Rich Rod back. That is the one positive, that you need money in this day and age, no matter whether it's NIL or rev share or whatever. And they didn't have enough of it under Brown, but they have a little bit more of it now under Rich Rod.
Boy, that'd be the day when they bring Rich Rod back and Bob Huggins makes a trip back to the trip to the.
Yeah, that would be.
Be a little
it's
bit
kind
more.
of too bad they kind of missed each other historically when you think about it. Huggins got back to WVU in 2007 when Rich Rod was leaving.
Right, like right at the same time. Yeah. Well, I don't think that invite's going to come anytime soon.
No,
maybe that'll
that's
have
not
to be
happening.
a couple more decades.
Hey, Nick Saban apparently wants to get back into coaching. So.
Come on. Put him on the list.
He's got West Virginia ties.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he apparently turned down the WVU job and told Ren Baker jokingly said he asked Miss Terry and she said no, and then he was a consultant in it. So it'll be interesting if he actually comes back and if West Virginia fans don't kind of get mad, like, why not us?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mike Asti, West Virginia Athletics for West Virginia Sports Now. We appreciate it, Mike. When we get closer to that killer couple of weeks here, we're going to dip in with you on those two as well. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely come back on. Thanks, guys.
There you go, Mike Asti.
Great info on the Mountaineers. That's an interesting situation.
It's wild, and it's a tough place to coach, because there is that history there, there's the expectation. But in recent memory, people look at it like it's a program that's a little bit of below what that Power 4 kind of bar should be. And
why are the Mac jokes so insulting? I like myself a little Maction.
This week, Toledo versus West Virginia.
Tuesday night on ESPN, the Ocho.
Oh, Bob Huggins and Rich Rod shaking hands, going, "Good to see you."
I don't think those two should hang out together.
No.
I don't think unless it's at an AA meeting.
Okay, this is a family program, JJ. How dare you?
Did I go there?
Yes, you did.
I'm
We're gonna
sorry.
take a break. We'll come back.
Scott Frost might be interested too.
Oh my gosh, where's Coach Sumlin when you need him to?
Oh man!
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. Ooh. Gosh. Talk about food. We got to talk about food. Anytime we talk about Hans and Scotty, we got to talk about where they're going to be eating food next. Gosh. You know what? I'm glad I'm not going to be there. You know
Look,
why?
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little jealous of those guys because they keep getting these food remotes.
Yeah, but
Hey, I just want to know, all those restaurants out there, you and I are foodies too.
Yeah, but
Like, we'd love to come try out your meal and
You know what?
talk about it on the radio.
you guys can. But you know what? The burgers and fries and shakes staring me in the face right now, I probably couldn't say no.
So you and I have the same problem.
Yeah.
We get on Instagram
You can't do it.
and
Yes, that's
we
exactly
get
right.
bombarded with a lot of food
You
stuff.
go and look at my feed is just 100% recipes and college football. That's all it is.
That's not bad. That's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
But I have been hit with some Muyaz reels.
Instagram heard you?
on Instagram. Like, I want that.
Yeah. You can join Hans and Scotty on Friday, noon to 3. They're going to be at Mooyah. Burgers, fries, and shakes, 9710 State Street in Sandy, your new favorite burger place. Let me see here. JJ, you know what today is? Alex, you know what today is?
Wednesday?
You guys were like, oh, shoot. It's his birthday, and I forgot. It's our anniversary. You didn't know that?
Whose anniversary?
Just kidding. It's our anniversary. You love us. You didn't know. No. Today is National Hot Dog Day. We did it, America.
Are we going to have that discussion about what we think about hot dogs?
No.
Because I like hot dogs.
I'm a hot dog guy.
Not going to lie.
Oh, listen, I'm not a hot dog guy, too.
Do I know what's in it? Nope, I don't. Do I care?
Don't
Nope.
care. I actually helped make hot dogs one time. All right? And I knew it was in it. It was 100%
It didn't change
beef.
your mind. So you literally know how the sausage is made.
I watched it, and they were like, it might be gross. I'm like, don't care. I'll have it all day. All right? So I found
Put some sauerkraut on it, I'm good.
I found some hot dogs. First of all, I did want to bring this up. Did you know that the highest priced hot dog in Major League Baseball, guess what park it's at?
Texas?
You have no business. Well, Texas has one that is an expensive dog. It's different though because it's a 3-pound hot dog. It's $34. That doesn't really count.
I'm not afraid.
The regular hot dog, like across Major League Baseball, the most expensive hot dog is the Oakland A's. You guys come on.
Who?
$8.65 for a hot
In
dog.
Sacramento?
At a hot dog to eat a hot dog while you're watching the Oakland A's. The Oakland, don't call me Las Vegas, don't call me Sacramento A's.
Don't call me Oakland either, legally.
I know, right? So
In a minor league ballpark.
the cheapest dog is $2.65, and it's at Atlanta. So the Braves are doing something right. I think they do the same thing at the stadium there at the football stadium. What's it called? Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes-Benz has really cheap
They go pretty cheap.
concessions.
They go pretty cheap. However, I'm not going to ask you those things. I was interested in those, but I did want to bring this up. I'm going to give you a would you rather, and you can throw me what these are. Okay? Would you rather have a Coney Island dog? You know what? What is a classic Coney Island dog? Chili, yellow mustard, diced raw onion, shredded cheese.
Yeah.
That's freaking killer.
I love it.
Or
help me understand why the Coney dogs are a big deal in Detroit.
Okay. The Coney Island dog, I don't know, but you and I have both been to those places in
they're
Detroit, and they're
phenomenal.
really good. And they're right next to each other.
Yes.
So the Coney Island dog or the New York style dog, which is spicy brown mustard, kraut, and onion sauce.
I'm going Coney.
Still going Coney Island.
Yep.
The Chicago dog. Could you name all of the things on the Chicago dog?
Be still my heart.
Sliced tomatoes,
Pickle.
white onion, sweet pickle relish, what they call, I don't know why they call them sport peppers. Is that a misspelling? I don't have sport peppers. I'm assuming that's yellow peppers. Yellow mustard, dill pickle, celery salt, poppy seed.
Chicago dog.
Wow. I'd
Yeah.
stay Coney Island.
Now,
Now, you know this.
the old Smith ballpark here had an awesome Chicago
Oh,
dog.
they did. Okay.
I loved it.
Now, this one's popped up more recently. Don't you dare try to cut me off early here, our producer Alex. I'm talking hot dogs here.
We're having a good time. Leave us alone.
Seattle dog. Are you familiar with what's on the Seattle dog? What makes it different? It's cream cheese. They put the cream
Yes.
cheese on it.
That's good.
Cream cheese, grilled onion, jalapeno, sriracha.
I went to a Mariners game 2 years ago. I didn't go with the Seattle dog.
Oh no, I've the garlic fries are as good as anything at
Because they have
T-Mobile.
they have sticky buns
And they do have the sticky
in
buns.
Seattle, which are great.
Cream cheese on a hot dog, phenomenal.
Agree.
But mustard isn't on there.
Cream cheese is an underrated condiment.
You would not have thought it.
Underused condiment.
Okay, the Sonoran dog. Bacon wrapped,
Oh yeah, I've had those in Tucson.
the pinto beans, the pico de gallo, avocado mayonnaise.
You've got, if you're ever in Tucson, if BYU Utah fans, you go to an Arizona game, you got to go get a Sonoran dog.
Okay?
Strictly because of the bacon.
Or the slaw dog. Coleslaw, chili, diced onion, yellow mustard.
Sonoran.
Okay? Sonoran's the winner then. I'm going to stay with
I'm
the
okay with
classic.
that.
I'm going to go with the classic Coney Island with the chili, cheese, onion, and I will put double onion on because that's the kind of guy I am.
Well, you had me at bacon, so.
I love it. All right. There you go. Happy National Hot Dog Day to those of you who celebrate. Go get yourself a hot dog. All right.
Do it.
We'll take a break. We got more to go around the corner. When we return, we've got Mountain West Media Days to talk about. We've got some cuts from Bryson Barnes that Hans and Scotty had a conversation with. We also have a conversation with Rich Clark, who's the college football playoff committee chair. The expansion discussion, what the format's going to look like in the future. We'll have that discussion coming up next right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.